It's match day. Again, they're coming around thick and fast, aren't they? I didn't do the match preview for the Burnley game last night due to unforeseen circumstances and issues beyond my control. Well, my motor broke down. Makes it sound more interesting, though, the way I said it the first time. I'll be running through that just a little bit. I hadn't intended to do it. I did intend to, and I will, discuss the most ridiculous excuse I've ever heard, which is why we've missed Sebastian Heller's most recent payment. We forgot about the 5 million quid, basically. And then there was the other thing with the suggestion that crowds might be allowed back into football as long as we're silent. They're going to trial run this thing to see if it works. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, Manchester United and Arsenal at the Emirates have been trial running it for years, so it should work perfectly. So we're going to get into that as well. Got a little bit of Canning Town Lane coming up, as well as something else. So can we squeeze it into 10 minutes? Probably not. We'll have a go. Right, the Burnley game. This is a crucial one, and Gio will do the tactics and go through everything that Burnley do well far better than I could. But it feels, at least from my point of view, that they've smacked our bottoms quite regularly recently. The most humiliating defeat has to have been the one where everybody ran onto the pitch. And that was pretty much the lowest point in West Ham's recent history. That's for sure. Maybe our history, full stop. It was a bad point. Now, they've then beaten us again since then, but I'm pretty sure that Sean Dyche would normally, his team talk, had there been fans in the ground, would have been, let's get at these fellas, let's get a goal nice and early, the crowd will start getting on the backs of the players, and then we're home and hosed, so to speak. I think actually us not being there, in this particular game against Burnley, for the reasons I've just given, is probably a good thing. And I think the fact that Burnley have arrested their slide is hopefully a good thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm clutching at straws. We win against Chelsea. We get a good draw in a tough away game to a very good Newcastle side. It's totally like West Ham to go and lose to Burnley and then lose to Norwich. But we can't. We can't be the normal West Ham. Not on this occasion. We really can't. What we've got to do is we've got to beat Burnley. Or get a draw against Burnley and beat Norwich. We've got to do something like that. But the more crucial one is to beat Burnley, because it just puts a hell of a lot of pressure on everybody else. It puts pressure on Bournemouth, it puts pressure on Villa, and it puts pressure on Watford. It's got to be done. So I hope he selects the team. The same team. I'll happily take the same team again. I don't know what injuries Burnley have got. I heard Ben Mee might not be available. I think any time we can avoid facing Chris Wood is very good for West Ham. Let's get the points. Let's get this done. Let's give ourselves a bit of breathing space and be safe with a couple of games to go, and then the Inquisition can start.
I'm here at the London Stadium with my good friend Declan Rice. Declan, this week I suggested that you were too good for West Ham and you should be seeking a bigger club, for which I received churlish abuse from the West Ham fans on Twitter, even though most of them agreed with me. Would you like to comment on any transfer speculation?
Declan Rice's West Ham true and true. I am very, very loyal. Once a hammer, always a hammer. Once an Irishman, always a hammer.
Right, there are a couple of things that have grabbed my attention. And where's me glasses? Got the wrong did you hear them? They dropped on the floor. Here's me glasses. Right, okay. The first one is, well, actually, I'm not gonna bother you with that one. Phil Jones and Jesse Lingard, let's not bother. Hey, it's a load of old rubbish. Let's be fair, it ain't happening. Pellegrini got a job. I thought he'd retired in China. I thought he'd certainly retired again, but he's gone back to Real Betis to be the head coach. I wasn't planning on talking about that. I was just scrolling down the news, really. Okay. Singing and shouting could be banned if supporters return. Public Health England is likely to insist that supporters should avoid singing, chanting or shouting at football stadium when fans are allowed back. Restrictions are likely to continue until a vaccine is widely available for the virus. Guidelines are likely to follow similar rules for place of worship, which say people should avoid singing, shouting, raising voices, and/or playing music at volume. I'm not sure what playing music has particularly got to do with it, by the way. Russ would be cranking it right up. I also wonder, are they going to still? I guess they'll still filter in the fake crowd noise, won't they? But how's that going to work? How's it going to work, actually? How will they enforce it? I mean, it was bad enough at the London Stadium trying to get everybody to sit down. How are you going to enforce nobody shouting? How are you going to stop yourself shouting if we've just gone through on goal and I was going to pick a player, any player, pick your player, shoots high and wide? How would we react? How will that look? Oh, I tell you what, mate, he's a good player, right? What's that, mate? Eh? It's the coronavirus, isn't it, mate? You've got to whisper. If you shout, then people can catch it. Coronavirus? No, I tell you, don't worry about that, mate. Don't worry. What they want to do is they want to get that Roberto in here, don't they? I tell you what, then my coronavirus, he can catch a cold. The actual quote says that steps should be taken to avoid people needing to unduly raise their voices to each other. Now that's so what you really want is that happy medium of not too dull football. You want it dull. You don't want it exciting, so you raise your voice, and you don't want it so frustratingly poor that you start shouting out, you don't know what you're doing, get him off, or whatever. You just want it, you just sort of want to trickle, don't you? You need to flatten the curve of excitement. So that's really what you want. So fans will be allowed back in to the football stadium as long as it doesn't get too exciting and you don't get too loud. I don't know, I might just watch it on telly, to be perfectly honest with you. It sounds, I understand it, but it is a little bit, I understand why they're doing it, but it doesn't sound like they're ready for it to return. There's a lot of, it's football, but not as we know it, put it that way. This I liked, by the way. Sebastian Haller dispute explained. Let me explain it to you. Okay, what had happened was we paid a big lump sum of Sebastian Haller's transfer fee up front. Normally, the whole fee is spread out over 5 years. We paid 25 million, something like that, up front. And the rest was meant to be paid in sort of 5 million-ish increments. We missed our most recent payment to Frankfurt, and Frankfurt reported us to FIFA. I'm sure you know the story, but that's it. Anyway, this article that has been put out by Sean. It says, Haller dispute explained. Well, I'd like to hear it. I'm sure you'd like to hear it as well. It says the dispute over Sebastian Haller's is thought to relate over a simple misunderstanding over the payment schedule. So we're not quarrelling, we're not arguing about the fee. It's just when it's got to be paid. Both sides of this dispute are citing commercial confidentiality, but a third party close to the original deal has told Claret and Hugh that the disagreement relates to the timing of the latest instalment payment. I chuckle because I think I know who the source close to the original deal might be. West Ham is thought to have paid 50% up front. I just told you that. With the funds from Marko Arnautovic, totaling 22.5 million. That went straight to Frankfurt. The remaining 22.5 million is thought to have been structured over 5-year contracts at around 4.5 million a year. This is the good bit. This is the good bit. The first payment was thought to be due in May, with the Premier League season was originally due to end on the 17th of May. West Ham may have interpreted the end of the season to be the 26th of July, deferring the payment until July. So, basically, this is the excuse. West Ham agreed to pay the money in May, 4.5 million quid. And then they just thought, without contacting anyone, they probably just want it in July. The old 4.5 million. We've all done it, haven't we, with 50 pence or a bit of money falls down behind a sofa. Might owe your mate a tenner. The old May to July. They're very confusing, aren't they? May, June, July, it just all blurs into one. I'm amazed that Frankfurt even kicked up a fuss about it. What is £4.5 million between friends or... I say friends. I don't know. Maybe our relationship with Frankfurt was very good. It probably isn't now. But I just find... I do find the fact that it was meant to have been paid on the 17th of May, and we just presumed, or sorry, interpreted, that actually that probably means the 26th of July. So they've reported us to FIFA. Well, I mean, I don't really know what to say. Anyway, but it says the FIFA spokesman confirmed that the complaint has been raised by Frankfurt. The payment... it's now thought to be resolved between the two parties with a payment due to be paid in July. I mean, you'd be horrified. I'd be saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought July. I know we agreed May. I thought July. I'm so sorry. It's really embarrassing. I'll pay it now. But even still, we're still now sticking to July. Why don't we just phone them at the start and say, Frankfurt, we're a bit skint. There's this cold cough thing going around and it's... can we pay in July? 26th of July? It seems like we've done that. We've not paid and we've hoped it will go away. We've been letting the letters pile up inside the letterbox. Do you know what I mean? It's just before. There's a big pile of letters. By the front door at West Ham United, there's a big pile of mail with German stamps on them. It says, West Ham retains the registration of Sebastian Haller. Well, that's a relief. And the suggestion that his injury is a smokescreen. Have you heard this? He's been forced to sit out because of a contractual dispute, a wider than mark, and complete nonsense. We may see Haller on the bench tomorrow. This article was written yesterday, if he passes a late fitness test. The suggestion is, the old conspiracy theory, the old moon landings theory on this one is, and I'm not poo-pooing it, by the way, it's possible. And nothing would surprise me. This story's so ludicrous. Nothing would surprise me if we just hadn't paid it, we'd pretended he was injured so we didn't have to play him, thereby not activating whatever financial clause might have been put in place. It's weird. Do you know what? It is just, the whole thing would be a little bit weird. It's like missing a couple of payments on your car, then not driving your car around just in case the person that sold you the car sees you. I don't think they're fooling anyone. It's almost as if they're hiding. Oh, he's not here. He's not. No. Oh, what's Sebastian Haller, you say? Who knows? Anyway, complete and utter nonsense. I will see you. When am I going to see you? I'm going to see you. Join us for the pre-match build-up show. Hour before kick-off. Myself and Gio will be talking about the teams. You will have the watch-along with Tom and Charlie. Then we got the review. That comes after a game review. See, I'm good at this. We've got the review afterwards. And then myself and Joe will be doing the Patreon player ratings. Happy days. Action-packed. Fingers crossed for 3 points.